All right, let's look at a classic legal case. It has some surprisingly modern lessons for managers.
Sounds crazy, right? But even a well-intentioned raise can land you in some legal hot water.
So our story starts way back in 1917 with a designer, a guy named Schwartzreich.
He had a solid contract, but then, a competitor came along with a much better offer.
And that put him in a classic bind: stay put or chase the bigger paycheck. Well, his company, Bauman-Basch, really didn't want to lose him, so they started talking.
They ended up bumping his pay to $100 a week to convince him to stay.
But it's not just about the money. How they handle the paperwork is the real key here.
See, they didn't just tweak the old contract. They both agreed to tear it up and start over.
So Schwartzreich started working under the new deal. But things didn't stay peaceful for long.
Yeah, just a couple months later, he got fired. And then he sued for his promised salary. The company's argument? They claimed the raise was an empty promise. He already worked for them. Basically, they said they got nothing new in return for that extra $10 a week.
So the whole case came down to this one question. Was that second contract actually legit?
And the New York Court of Appeals came back with a big yes. The new contract was valid.
The court's entire reasoning hinged on that simple but powerful act of tearing up the old deal. It's called mutual rescission. When both sides agree to cancel a contract, it's basically gone.
The court basically said, hey, you're free to rip up an old deal and start a new one.
That simple act of canceling the old contract, that's what made the new one legally solid.
Okay, so what can we, as modern managers, learn from a case that's over 100 years old?
Here's the playbook for handling a raise for an employee who's already under contract with you.
If you follow these steps, you're protecting both the company and your employee. It's all about clarity.
Remember, it's not about changing a deal. It's about ending one and starting a brand new one. And doing it this way makes sure your new promises are built on a rock-solid legal foundation.
So think about it. Are your contracts flexible enough to keep your best people around?